Welcome to today's land auction via AuctionCast, the most informative method to buy and sell land at auction. I'm your host, Jen Bush, and I'm joined by auction manager Brian Haugen of LandProz and Craig Borchert of Ascent Financial to help us take a more in-depth look at the attributes of this one-of-a-kind property. We have a really exciting auction today. We will be selling the Hillesheim auction land. This is located in Brown County, Minnesota. It's 65 acres, more or less, and it's going to be offered as one tract today. This farm, it's located in Section 7 of Siegel Township in Brown County, Minnesota. This is just southwest of New Ulm, Minnesota. Before we get started, I'll have our auction manager, Brian Haugen, with myself and Craig. He is going to break down this sale for us and give us more information. Brian?
Well, thank you, Jen. Happy to be here, and we're honored to represent Mr. Hillesheim and the sale of his, like you said, one-of-a-kind property here today. So I'm going to jump right into it. We have a very unique property today. We have 65 plus or minus deeded acres that we're selling today, and we will be selling that to you. We are bidding currently at price per acre. So what that means is, if you're looking at your screen, we have $7,000 bid per acre. That is times the acres. So I want to slow down just a bit. That 65 acres has not been surveyed quite yet. Right after the sale today, the seller, at the seller's expense, is going to have that property surveyed. And with that survey, we will know the actual acres. They're plus or minus today. That could be plus a little bit or minus a little bit. And whatever those acres are, the final bid price will be adjusted to those acres, okay? Moving on, we have approximately, according to the FSA, 19.41 plus or minus acres of tillable farmland. That's entrenched around the farm, 3 different fields. CPI 57.6. Now, like Jen said, this is located on blacktop. That's what I love about this property. Just southwest in New Ulm, so you have all those amenities, and just off from County Road 11 with a beautiful driveway access. So this topography out there, rolling, gently rolling with some nice landscape. It has some timber in place. The timber, I was out there myself. There's a large amount of oak out there, and that oak, some of it's mature, some of it's young, varying stages. We did not have a timber harvest or a timber cruise done, but I'm telling you, there's quite a bit out there. And you know, we have a lot of folks watching here online today, and a lot of folks were out there looking at this property, and I know a number of you fell in love with it, kind of like we did when we were out there. So all of that oak is out there for you. The deer love it, the turkey love it. They're all over the place. We also have multiple optional building sites available, and I know, Jen, this is kind of your specialty. We will get into that just a bit later. You know, of course, that is all subject to the county's ordinance rules and splits and everything, so we're not doing any of that for you. We're selling it as the 65 plus or minus acres. There is a old building site on there where we have some uninhabitable buildings. Okay, the house has not been lived in for quite some time, so that's a tear down. We're selling it as is, where is. The property does have a well in place, okay? So the well, I am told, was working well when the electricity was unhooked from the building site. So the well is approximately 184 feet deep. It's a submersible pump cased well, just like every normal well is. So that well, you know, you're accepting that well as is. We haven't had it tested. And because the power, it used to have power lines up the driveway, and those power lines were removed, so there's power out on County 11, and that power will need to be trenched in for this farm. So it's out there. The access will allow you to trench that in. There is fiber optic already trenched into the building site, so that's already up there. We have high-speed internet. So that's there. That is a very private and secluded building site if that's where one wants to build, or if, you know, a family would like to develop this and have a couple homes on it or whatever you'd like. We are told from the county and the ordinances that it looks like that can be done either through platting or appropriate splits, you know, for that type of arrangement if you're looking for that. There is a year-round stream running through the property, beautiful, established trails throughout, And another important item here is this tillable farmland, the 19.4 acres, is open for the new buyer to farm in 2024. So if you're buying this as a recreational parcel or a building site and you're looking for a tenant, the current seller would love to continue farming it if you'd like to rent it out. And if you'd like to operate it yourself, that would be just great. So the real estate taxes that we have at the county level right now are $848. They may change upon the actual split that the seller will provide with the survey, and he will make sure prior to closing that the county approves the split of the 65 plus or minus acres. Now, to slow down just a bit, the driveway access will be a permanent ingress egress easement that is 33 feet in width along that driveway. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that on the survey, and we're going to survey that from the center of the driveway out on each side. So 33 feet wide, permanent ingress egress easement that'll run with the land forever. It'll be on the survey, and it will be recorded, and that will be the responsibility of the seller prior to closing. So I wanted to get those things out there. There'll be a couple more things that we talk about here the rest of the program once we get started. So.
Well, thank you so much, Brian. This sounds like a real gem of a property with all the demand for acreages out there today. I can't wait to see what this brings. We're going to welcome all of our on-site and online bidders. Thank you for joining us here at AuctionCast today. I just want to point out a few things to our viewers. Make sure you're aware of the documents online about today's farm. These are located on the Documents tab of the bidding screen or on our website under the property. At any time, if you would like to bid by phone or you have any technical issues or have any questions, please call the number on your screen. Our auction manager, Brian Haugen, and our team are ready to assist your questions and take your bids over the phone or via text or email. I would also like to take this moment to introduce our auctioneers for the day, Greg Jensen and Sonny Jensen. Greg has been in the land auction business for over 50 years and brings a wealth of experience with him to AuctionCast. Sonny Jensen is a third-generation auctioneer with a number of achievements under his belt already in his career. Thank you for joining us today on AuctionCast. Let's get the auction started with Mr. Greg Jensen.
Thanks, Jen. My name is Greg Jensen. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm going to read over the terms and the conditions of this great auction. First of all, the method of sale, bidding will be dollars per deeded acre, using not the buyer's choice today because we only have one parcel. Deeded acres may change because of a survey or other factors. In this case, it probably will because it hasn't been surveyed. The seller reserves the right to accept or reject any or all bids. The auction company and the seller reserve the right to preclude any person from bidding if there is any concern as to the person's credentials or fitness to bid or enter into a contract. LandProz, a real estate LLC, and its agents are representing the seller. The taxes will be paid by the buyer, and you will have possession this year. Taxes are current in the state of Minnesota. 24s are due in 24. Conditions of sale is subject to all easements, restrictions of record, covenants, and leases. Each bidder is responsible for conducting their own inquiries and due diligence efforts as their own risk concerning the subject property. All property sold as is, where is, with no warranties. Contracts and title. Immediately upon the conclusion of the auction, the highest bidder will enter into a real estate contract purchase agreement and provide funds for earnest money to be deposited with the real estate and auction company. Seller will provide an update abstract or owner's title policy insurance and with clear title at their expense. Sale is not contingent upon buyer's financing. Closing date, closing on or before April 1st, 2024. Terms and possession, $25,000 non-refundable today, down. Balance is due on or about April 1st, 2024. Subject to survey and approval split by the seller at seller's cost. Before closing and certificate of survey acres times the bid price will be used to adjust the final purchase price. So in other words, whatever the final bid price is, that will be times the actual surveyed acres. Seller will provide at seller's cost a perpetual ingress egress easement for legal access to the building site, which will run 33 feet from the center of the existing driveway. Possession will be at closing. Tillable farmland is open for 2024. Any statement made day of auction takes precedence over previous material. All information provided here is obtained from sources deemed reliable, but neither the auction company nor the seller guarantee its accuracy. I am now going to turn this over to Sonny Jensen, who will conduct this auction.
Thank you, Gregory. So getting started, we're going to get right into the auction. We've got people on the phone. We've got people on the internet. Let's get her going. Here we go. 775. 7,000 down 75. An L775. Let's go. Down 7,000 down 75 out of bid. An L7 grand 7,500. Damn it, 75. Find out down 75. An L7 grand 75. 7,000 7,500. An L75 75 down 7 grand 75. An L7,000 75. If you're thinking about it, let's go. If you're limited to 7 grand 75 at 7,000 75 here. An L7 grand 75 out on deer down 75 out of bid. An L7 grand 75 out of bid and 5 out on deer 7,500 75. An L75 5 out of bid and 5 out on deer down 7,500 75. An L7 grand 75 out of bid and 5 here down bidder number 10,006. You're on. An L7,000 75 5 out of bid and 5 out on deer down 7,000 75. An L7 grand 7,500 out on deer down 7 grand 75. An L7 grand 75 out of bid and 5 out of bid and 5 out on deer down 7 grand 75. An L7 grand 75 out of bid and 500 out on deer down 5 out on deer down 5. An L7 grand 75. Let's go down 7,000 out on deer down 75 out of bid down 7 grand 75. An L7,000 75 5 out of bid and 5 out on deer down 75 out of bid and 5 here 70 grand 75. An L7 grand 75 out of bid and 5 here down 7,000 out on deer down 5 out of bid. An L7 grand 75. Let's go down 7,000 out on deer down 7,500 out on deer. An L7 grand 75 out of bid and 5 out of bid and 5 out on deer down 75. An L7 grand 75 7 grand 75 5 out of bid and 5 out on deer down 7 grand 75. An L7 grand 75 out of bid and 5 out of bid and 5 out on deer down 7 grand 75. An L75 out of bid and 5 down 75 out on deer down 7 grand 75. An L7 grand 75. Let's roll down 7,000 out on deer down 75 out on deer down 7 grand 75. An L7 grand 7,500 out on deer down 5 out on deer down 5 out of bid and 5 out on deer down 75 down 7 grand 75. An L7,000 out on deer down 75 out on deer down 7 deer down 75 out on deer down 5. An L7 grand 75 out of bid and 5 down 7,000 out on deer down 75 out on deer down 5. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a little recess, so I'm going to turn it over to them. They're going to do a little bit more talking and explanation on this farm. So, Jen, take it away.
Thank you so much, Sonny, for getting this auction opened up this afternoon, actually. I want to actually take some time here to introduce Craig Borchert. You're the Director of Consulting and Partner at Ascent Financial.
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
So you prepared a really great financial analysis on this, or put some numbers together for us?
Yeah, put some numbers together I wanted to share with folks today here, looking at this property. You know, and I think the thing to think about with this property, although it has good income potential, you know, with the tillable, we want to look at it just a little differently than we would a traditional farm. You know, because it's not going to be the tillable isn't driving the value as much as the rest of the land, and it's a really unique and valuable property otherwise. But you know, I think the way to look at this is to think about how land appreciates over time. You know, I've got a chart here that shows the price of farmland. Now, we use this as an index because we've got really good data for it, but it really tracks kind of land generally from an investment perspective in the U.S. over the last 50 years. So this goes back to 1973 and goes through 2022, and it shows in these gray areas where there's been recessions in the U.S. over that period. And you see that farmland as our proxy for kind of all land, has done really well over that period of time. It kind of reflects all of our shared experience. But I think the interesting way to think about this is in the next chart here, which shows what would have happened if you took $10,000 50 years ago and bought, you know, an acre of farmland. How'd that turn out over that 50-year holding period? And it'd be $179,700.79, and that's without considering any income or any other benefits that you're using from the land, just having it and enjoying it in no other way. So it's a strong return.
Let me slow that down a minute.
Yeah.
So you're telling me if I told my son or my daughter to take $10,000
Mm-hmm.
and invest in farmland or property, real estate
Yep.
assets like this, you're telling me that $10,000 would turn into $179,000?
Correct. If you did that in 1973.
Okay.
That's how that 10,000 would have grown over that period of time, without thinking about any income coming off of it. Just the raw value of the land, or what enjoyment you might have had in the land over that period of time.
That's an interesting slide.
Yeah. I think what's also even more interesting is let's look at the next one. It's the same data, we're just looking at it a little different. And in this, the bars that are green show years where farmland has gone up in value, and the red show where it's gone down. The grays still show the recession. But if we look at kind of what are good years versus bad years, you know, here we've got far more good years than bad over the last 50 years, and really the hardest years were in the 80s, and that there was a lot of unique global things causing that. But if we look at 2008, you know, it's just a little blip, and then we're back at it. Most other markets didn't weather that storm as well. You know, we have hardly a blip at all with COVID. There's none there, but a little bit of that kind of mid-2000s where there were some trouble in the economy worldwide, that we see that there, but it's still a pretty minor rundown compared to what the stock market did in those periods of time.
These are very interesting charts, and I'm really fascinated by this, and I think that's probably what's driving this land frenzy, I guess we could call it right now. You know, rather than owning some mutual funds or owning some stocks, I think from looking at your graphs, looks like a much more safer bet.
I think that the volatility is less. The drawdowns have been substantially greater in the stock market over these same periods where there have been drawdowns. You know, in 2008, we saw over 50% reduction at points.
Right.
You know, we've seen several 30% drops in the stock market during this recent, you know, history.
What it fascinates me too with this land, I was out there, I fell in love with it the second I stepped on it. With those stocks and bonds or those mutual funds, you don't get to hunt them.
Nope.
You don't get to chop firewood. You don't get to teach your kids the value of
And that's that enjoyment.
the
You know,
enjoyment.
the value of enjoying the land and having some income from the 19 tillable.
Right. Plus watching it grow
Yeah.
over time, just like you would invest in that stock
Mhm.
or that mutual fund.
And, you know, not only grow, but, you know, have that house, have that family time there, hunt it if that's what you choose to do. You've got a lot of options here.
We do. I think, Jen, you know, you've spent a lot of time on properties like this. You are the first person I think of when it comes to properties like this, because your background and your knowledge of wealth is so good. What's your kind of take on this type of property? Because you work with clients like this all the time.
You know, I love to see these things put on the market for auction, because we get all kinds of people that are so interested. We still have very, very high demand in housing and land, and this particular property in this location, you just don't see a lot of this come up for sale. And with the potential it has, I think the biggest things that stuck out to me on this farm, believe it or not, having the opportunity to maybe hook up to fiber internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
high
That's
speed.
that's
Huge.
the first thing that most of my clients ask me is, how do I get internet? Because I have to work at home. Hey, this has got fiber available. Now you have to hook up into it and, you know, trench it in. The electrical still has to be trenched back in as well, but it's there.
It's there.
Mhm.
And that is huge. The other thing that really stuck out to me was the potential for, you know, splitting this down into further parcels. So, you know, we're selling it as is, whereas today, the 65 acres more or less. But the fact that you could possibly maybe make a couple building sites out here, that's pretty cool.
Well, how many phone calls? It's kind of big. You told me this here well over a year ago. The fad of families wanting to build and live together, and it's a frenzy right now. And here we are. This is what we have. I mean, how many phone calls do you get about properties like this?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of a new emerging thing that I see coming in with clients, is that we've got multifamily generations that do want to live together. The years of past where you wanted your own property with your own farm to be proud of, you know, that's kind of gone on the wayside. We are seeing more of the 3 or 4 generation families wanting to be on one site. And, you know, history repeats itself, and I feel like this is a prime example of history may repeat itself. I want grandma to live with me.
Yeah.
I want her to help raise my kids, have that influence on a piece of land like this. I think it's great. I
Well,
love to see families come together.
65 acres to spread out a little bit too if grandma
Exactly.
drives you nuts, huh?
She could maybe put up her cabin in the back.
Yes, there you go.
Well, thank you so much, Craig, for all the good financial stuff today. Brian, again, all the information you put together. We're going to pass this back to a commercial break, and then we will get the auction going after that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back from break. I got some big news. We're going to sell this farm today. We got confirmation. The owner said, let her go. So here we go. 7,400, 7,500. If here, let's roll. If here, 74, 75, 5 here, down 74, 7,500. And now 74, 5, 5 here, down 74. There's going to be a new owner today. And now 74, 75, 5 here, down 7,400, down 5. And now 7,500, 5, 5, down 4, 5, 74, 75. And now 74, 5, 5 here, down 74, 5 here. And now 74, 75, 5, down 74, 7,500. And now 74. Going to be fine. 5 deer down 74, 75. And now 7,400, 7,500 deer down 4 4 5. And now 7,400, 7,500. Let's go down 74 deer down 5 hop on. And now 74, 75 5 down 74 deer down 5. And now 74, 75 5 deer down 74, 7,500. If here 74 4 deer down 74, 7,500. And now 74 5 deer down 74, 75. And now 74. If you're thinking about it, now's the time to hop on. 74, 7,500, and now 74, 4 deer down 4, 5, down 74, deer down 5, and now 74, going to be fine. 5. If you have any questions at all, call Brian Haugen at this number right below me, 7,400. 7,500, 74, 5, and now 74, deer down, 74, 5 here, down 74, 75, and now 74, 5, deer down 7,400, now 5, and now 74, going to be fine, 5, deer down 74, deer down 5, and now 74, deer down 5, 74, deer down 5, 75, 75, 74, 5, and now 74, 7,400, 7,500, and now 4, there's going to be a new owner, I don't know what you're waiting for, 74, 5, and now 74, 7,400, now 5, down 74, 5, 7,400, 7,500, 75, and now 74, 5, 7,400, 7,500, and now 74, 5, down 74, 75, and now 74, 5, 74, here, down 74, 5 here, down 74, 5, and now 74, 5 here, yep, here, 7,400, 7,500, yep, 5, here, down 74, deer down 5, deer down 5 here, down 5, yep, 5, here, down 7,400, now 5, down 74, 5 here, down 74, 5, and now 74, 5, 74, what are they saying back there, and now 74, 5 here, down 74, bidder number 10,006 is on. If here at 10,005, you got to be 7,500, 74, 75, and now 74. Up here down 74, down 74, 75, and now 74, 500, 500, up here down 74, got to be 5, and now 74, 5, 4, down 5. If you're done, I'm done. And now 74, 75, up here down 74, 75, and now 74, up here down 74, 7,500, 5, new owner, and now 74, 7,500, deer down 4, 5, down deer down 4, down 5, 74, 75, and now 4, 5, 7,400, now 5, and now 7,400, now 5, give me 5, and now 74, down up here, down 4, 5, 4, 5, and now 74, up here, down 5, 5 here, down 7,400, 7,500, 75, and now 7,500, down 5, up here, down 74, down deer, down 5, down deer, and now 74, 75, 5 here, down 74, down deer, down 5, and now 74, up here, down 74, down deer, down 5, 75, and now 7,400, 7,500, deer, down 4, deer, down 5, 5 here, down 4, 5, and now 74, down 5, 4, 5, down 4 here, down 5, and now 74, 75, 75, 5 here, down 74, down deer, down 5, yep, 5, down 5 here, down 5, deer, down 5, deer, down 4, 5, deer, down 4, deer, down 5, 5, 4, 5, and now 4, down 5, 74, down 74, down 5, deer, down 5, deer, down 5. I think we're going to take a little recess. I'm going to hand it back over to Jen and Craig, and I'm going to turn it over to them right now.
Thank you so much, Sunny. Yeah, what a great, exciting auction here today. And Brian had to take some calls over the phone for some of our bidders, but I just want to discuss a few more things about this property here with you, Craig.
Sure.
I think it's really important to note that there are some buildings out there right now.
There are.
Yeah, and I do see that, some of my clients really like to have those there. They may not be that usable, but they give some kind of purpose, right? They could probably store something. Or what I'm seeing a lot of, people will reduce and reuse and recycle.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're recycling a lot of that material off of these old buildings. They're using it for decorative purposes.
Yeah.
They're selling it on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace.
There's quite a few small buildings on the site. You know, if you look at the photos there's a really nice photo showing all of the kind of small buildings that are there. So if your intention would be to kind of cut these up and reuse the materials, there's quite an interesting, diverse array of materials there.
Yeah, that's what I thought was really stuck out to me. Also, the fact that there is a well there. And it was in working condition prior to the electric getting disconnected, but that's kind of important to know that, you know, there's could be some use there for somebody.
I mean, it was an inhabited living site at one point and not in the not too distant past.
Have you ever driven out on County 11?
I don't think I have.
I was through there, I don't know, a couple months ago. It is a beautiful road. There is some really nice topography in that area. It kind of surprises you. It just sneaks up and all of a sudden you're in this really nice rolling area.
That whole area is very beautiful.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's a lot of demand for this type of property back
Absolutely.
there, for sure. We're going to go ahead here and take a little break to a commercial. We'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back from recess. We're not going to take any more recesses. And there's going to be a new owner today, so we're going to sell it. It's going to be gone. So now is your time to hop on. Don't lose this opportunity. We're going to go. So if you have any questions, just give Brian Haugen a call at the number right below me. It's going to be gone, so you got to hop on right now. We're at 7,400. Asking 75, down 74, 5, down 74, here, down 74, 5. Don't wait on me. And now 74, 5, here, down 74, down 5. And now 74, 5, 5. No more recesses. 74, 7,500. And now 74, here, down 74, down 5, down 75, 5 here. And now 74. If you're thinking about it on the fence, you might as well do it right now because you're going to regret it if you don't. Up here, down 74, down 5, down 74, here, down 74, 5. And now 74, 75, down here, down 5 here, down 74, 75, and now 74, down 5 here, down 74, down 5, down 74, down 5 here, down 4, 5, and now 74, down 5 here, down 7400, down 5, down 75, 5 here, down 74, down 5. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you 1 minute. 1 minute. Here we go. Up here, down 74, 75, 7500, down 4, 5, down 74, down 5, and now 74, down 5 here, down 74, down 5, and now 74, 75, 74, down 5 here, down 74, 75, and now 74, down 5 here, down 74, down 5, 74, 75, 45 seconds, 74, 5, and now 74, down 5 here, down 7400, down 5, and now 74, down 5 here, down 74, down 5, 75, and now 75, down 5, 74, 75, 75, yep, here, down 7400, 75, 30 seconds, and now 74, down 5 here, down 7400, down 5, and now 74, down 5 here, down 7400, 7500, and now 74, 5, down 5 here, down 74, down 5, and now 74, down 5 here, down 7400, down 5, and now 74, down 5, 10 seconds, and now 74, 75, down 74, down 5, down 74, 5, hammers high, and now 74, 75, and now 74, 7500, down 4, down 5, 7500, down 4, down 5. Sold the farm, $7,400. It is gone. Sold it. So the person that bought this farm, stay around your phone. We're going to be in contact with you. Thank you very much. We appreciate you, and I'm going to turn it back over to Jen, and she's going to talk about this.
Thank you so much, Sonny. What an amazing auction today. So we landed at $7,400 per acre. Craig, that ends up being $481,000?
$481,000 is correct, and you know that the price per acre works out to, on the tillable side, you know, if we just look at it from the tillable perspective, you know, my number's actually wrong here. So, but it's a pretty good deal all around.
Yeah, I think that was a great sale today. An acreage like this, I would expect to bring that much.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you to all our bidders that came to participate today and everyone that watched online. Congratulations to the winning bidder. We would really like to especially thank our seller for trusting us today to auction off your property. If you were not a winning bidder today, remember we have plenty of auctions coming up. Stay tuned to our website. just a quick recap. We've got tomorrow, February 29th at 6:30 p.m. There's 75 acres in Decatur County, Indiana. March 6th at 10 a.m. There's 80 acres in Freeborn County, Minnesota. March 9th at 10 a.m. 26 acres in Freeborn County. March 13th at 10 a.m. we have 82 acres, Redwood County. Here, that's going to be an auction cast. That same day, we have another auction cast at 1 p.m. That's 284 acres in Redwood County. March 28th, we have a 2 p.m. That's 37 acres, Floyd County, Iowa. That's online only. And Brian, you told me earlier today you added some more.
Yeah, Jen, we missed our deadline for our cutoff on our calendar here. We're booking into April pretty heavily now. The team, yourself and a number of our team members are working on a number of sales. But hot off the press, we have just shy of 100 acres coming up in Goodhue County, Minnesota. That'll be auctioned here on Auction Cast, and that is an entirely tillable farm. It's an organic farm, so that one's pretty special.
Nobody knows about that yet?
Not yet. It's not
Well,
on there.
you do
so
now if you're listening.
Yes, you know now. We have that auction coming up, and that auction will be on April 10th. We also, our team in Illinois, Mr. Jake Hofer, we are working on a large event in East Moline. That auction will have 4 different parcels. Very unique opportunity on that auction. So that'll also be here on Auction Cast on April 10th. And then again, like I said, I know a number of the team members, yourself included, are working on April stuff as we speak. So like Jen said, stay tuned to LandProz.com and make sure you get a chance to come back here and watch us.
Thank you, Brian. Those are exciting. Those are 2 really good areas where we need some land sales in for sure. Anyway, today, auction manager Brian Haugen, he will be in touch with the winning bidder shortly to make those arrangements for the purchase agreement. Folks, hey, if you are willing to buy or sell, please keep us in mind at LandProz here. You can connect with our team at landproz.com or the number on your screen at any time. Thank you again for joining us here at LandProz Auction Cast, and have a great rest of the day.